I feel like an actual booktuber again.
I'm DNFing. I can't.
Those of you who loved Black Swan, hello.
I even skipped to the end to find out what the ending was. And as I started reading it, I just stopped caring.
The book community does not talk about Black boy books enough, doesn't read enough Black male authors. Ooh, I have my work cut out for me. So let's see how faithful I am to this TBR. Why, hello friends. I have just wrapped up a reading vlog where I read Dark versus Light Romance. It was a wild ride. It's gonna be linked down below in case you missed it. But now we are beginning a new vlog. It is the creepy horror season, at least it is for me, all year round to be perfectly honest, but this is the season that it's particularly justified. I have decided to bring back my Black Girl Magic / horror noir series. My phone is currently resting against the actual copy of this book. In this video, I'm going to be reading these 3 books, so let's see how faithful I am to this TBR. I will be talking about the elements of Blackness in these books and the elements of horror, as well as like the writing, shit like that. Right now, I'm about to eat some chicken Alfredo that I made for a friend. Those of you who cook a lot, how do y'all get your Alfredo to not turn into oil and separate when you reheat it the next day? Because that's always my issue. While cooking it, and the way that it came out, it was actually the best Alfredo I've ever made, and I'm really proud of it. I made it entirely from scratch the way that my mama taught me. I miss her so much. And horror is where I get my comfort. I'm gonna read some scary books on behalf of myself and my mom. What I'm gonna do is finish The Wishing Pool. I started this book and I actually put it down because it was so scary. Some of the stories didn't scare me, right? They just were enticing and incredible. It's very rare that I read a book and I'm actually scared. Off the top of my head, I think it's happened maybe 5 times in my life. Maybe a little more if there's books that I'm forgetting, which I'm sure that there are. But it's really hard to scare me, particularly because I'm obsessed with horror. I just don't talk about it often enough. One day I want to have a Black horror podcast. We're getting there. But this is by one of my favorite authors and directors, Tananarive Due. I hope I get to meet her at BookCon this year. Next year. That's all I'm gonna say. So this is a collection of short stories of horror, sci-fi, suspense, and I'm really excited to get back into it. These stories were impressing the hell out of me. Nobody crafts a scary story quite like she does. We have I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast Is Me, which I bought purely off of the cover. I don't know what this is about. I believe it's a ballet dancer. It's not. Laura, oh, it is. She's tired of being overlooked. She ventures deep into the Paris catacombs.
That's your first mistake.
Where she finds a pulsing blood river that offers her everything she's dreamed of and worked toward. Power and awe.
All I need to know.
King of Dead Things. This is by an author I have not read, and I believe it is her debut, Nevin Holness. It's about 2 kids, 2 perspectives. The characters in this book are boys. So I'm still gonna read this book for the vlog because it is told by a Black woman. And I love that she's centering Black boys in this story. The book community does not talk about Black boy books enough, doesn't read enough Black male authors. I find it incredibly disappointing and alienating. I always have. I didn't notice this on the cover. Fire shit. I kind of want to start this book because I'm impressed as hell. Let's see what the first line is. The soul slipped from the boy as easily as removing a sheet from a bed. I'm going to continue with The Wishing Pool, but I really can't wait to get to this one. Okay, let's see how far I got into The Wishing Pool. God, I love her writing. A reservoir of dark, murky water and 2 strategically placed brick pillars gave the impression of a grand entrance to Victoria's subdivision. Didn't get very far in this book at all because I'm still trying to find a story that I'm familiar with. Not a missing white woman. Oh my gosh, I am so unique. I forgot that underneath this book,
I can't remember why I did this,
is an entirely different book. It is Watch Where They Hide by Tamron Hall. Y'all know I loved book 1, and book 1 is one of the only scary books that has scared me, particularly because of the intersection of Black female identity and horror, because it was about missing Black girls in Chicago and a reporter who is determined to find out what's happening to them and make it stop. And it definitely scared me, not because the writing itself was scary, but because the subject of missing Black girls and women is something that obviously it's something that really terrifies me. But obviously I have a very personal connection to the topic. So I guess I'm reading this for the vlog. And if I can, I'm gonna try and finish The Wishing Pool.
Ooh, I have my work cut out for me.
It's 12:13 a.m. and I look like a wild animal. I'm on page 117 of King of Dead Things. I can't express how much I'm enjoying this story. It's so good and there's so much action and it's both scary, thrilling, and fantastical and spiritual. It's amazing. I'm gripped. I have a firm grasp. Firmly grasp it. It's so good, y'all. Like, it's so fucking good. It's 2 a.m. I can't put it down. Finished. 5 stars. Back onto Wishing Pool. I'm tired. What is up, y'all? MB got some updating to do. Y'all, I read until 8:30 in the morning. Who are they? I finished multiple books. I started another book. It felt so good. It feels so good to be getting back into the flow of reading. It's making me really happy, connecting with who I was before my mama passed on, reconnecting with the things that I love that brought me joy. It feels so good. During that time, I completed King of Dead Things. I would have updated, but I feel like it's boring for y'all if I just keep doing updates in the same exact spot. So I thought, let me wait until the next day, put a little makeup on, and give an update. I am awarding King of Dead Things 5 out of 5 stars. This book is phenomenal. I cannot wait to read the next. I cannot wait to continue absorbing everything that this author writes. The Black Boy magic was on fleek. The Black girls in this book are phenomenal as well. I loved the writing. I loved the horror and the thrilling elements. I was turning pages, holding my breath. All of the things that you want to feel in an urban, thrilling fantasy. The depiction of Osebo, the sharing of Anansi's stories. There's so much that I can say about this book, but instead I'm just going to tell y'all to read it. This was absolutely phenomenal. I would say it's great for readers of LaSalle Sambury. I would say that it's great for readers of just lovers of Black girl and Black boy magic and just fantasy in general. I was very, very impressed. So if you like YA fantasy, especially YA fantasy that has some teeth, you like YA fantasy that has some betrayal.
And I mean actually a lot of betrayal.
Complex relationships with parents. It's incredible. Demons, legends, all of that. The depiction of Blackness, of ancestral magic, of colonialism and the effects of colonialism, all of that, so well done. And next we have I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. This book was even better. 6 out of 5 stars.
Do I have a hair on my lip?
This book was amazing. It was even creepier, more cutthroat than King of Dead Things, not to compare and contrast, but tonally phenomenal. The writing was visceral. You could feel the skin being peeled from your bones in the more gruesome scenes. The cutthroatness of the ballet world, the depiction of the politics in ballet, and just the dedication that it takes to be a ballet dancer was phenomenally done. Those of you who loved Black Swan, hello! Truly captivating villain origin story. Again, you know, we love our anti-heroes in this book. And the things that Homegirl sacrifices to obtain power is not inconsequential. I think ultimately this is a book about safety and protection because she is seeking power due to the fact that she is being gatekept out of the upper echelons of ballet despite being every bit as good as her white counterparts, even better in many cases. And asking for the power to be seen, to walk into a room and to be actually acknowledged when you're trying to carve your own place in the world, a world that constantly keeps you shackled and has systems in place designed for you not to succeed. I get it. The friendship in this book, the female-female friendship is, I want to say trash, but I don't want to say trash because it implies that the author did something wrong. The
The best friend, Coraline, she's Snake. She's Snake. There were certain excuses and allowances made for this character.
I don't give a fuck.
The thing is that she did and said, homegirl racist. You racist. You racist no matter how you spin it. It's not the vibe. I would give both of these books recommendations as horror noir and as black girl, black boy magic picks. Now for the wishing pool. Thus far, I've surpassed page 178, but that is just where this marker is, marking a sentence that I want to read. This is going to be me convincing you to read Tananarive in one sentence. This is going to be me convincing you to surrender to your new queen. She wanted to touch herself to the sound of his fear and the memory of his cry. And for a little bit of context, she is describing a man that she made afraid. This is a possession story.
Ooh, I love me a good possession story.
Oh my God, I would do anything for Tananarive. I would do anything for that author. Please don't unsubscribe.
I need you.
All right, now it is time for me to get back to my Patreon sprints. We are on our third, maybe even our fourth sprint. I love hanging out with them. They're my favorite organs. All right, I fell asleep and did not finish the wishing pool. And when I woke up, I went to see the new Tron movie with a friend. I loved it. Now I want to watch the original and rewatch the first one. But what I'm gonna do right now, I just smashed some tacos. I had 4 tacos. Now I'm gonna finish this book. And I'm going to start and try to finish in a single night. There we go. This one. Hello friends, what's up y'all? The reading continues. I just uploaded yesterday for the rest of YouTube my reading vlog that I did of romance books. I read, I want to say 4 romances, and they all had very different vibes. And I talked about the elements of romance and writing in each of them. That video is going to be linked down below. I'm very proud of it, and I love that I was able to hop into filming another video. I feel like an actual booktuber again. I wanted to give you an update on my thoughts for Watch Where They Hide by Tamron Hall. Here's the good, the bad, and the ugly. The bad. Let's just start with the bad. Okay, sun coming out. Hey. Oh shit, I don't have sunblock on. This is your friendly reminder to watch it. This is your friendly reminder to wear sunblock even when you're indoors. It's important, especially if you're black, because skin cancer, you're 8 times more likely to die of skin cancer if you are black. And that is largely because of the misinformation spread about us not needing sunblock. We just don't burn as easy as, our skin counterparts, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean the sun doesn't affect us.
One of these things is not like the other.
I went back in the light so I can feel like one of God's children. Okay, so the bad part about this book is that I am not loving it the way that I was loving the first book.
What's happening?
I'm just gonna film this looking like Two-Face. The first book in the series, Wild the Wicked Watch, was absolutely phenomenal. Now, this book, when I started the first 2-3 chapters, I was like, oh God, because I was not being hooked the way that I was hooked in the first book. So that's the bad and the ugly. The plus side is that now that I'm on page 102, I'm far more invested in the story, which means I'm enjoying it more. I think that the issue here is that I read the audiobook for book 1, and the audio was phenomenal. And the writing style that this book has captivates me more when it's read audibly than when it's read physically. This kind of writing style is very blunt, short, kind of hands a lot to the reader. If that is being read to me, it feels much more like a story versus being told a story, if that makes sense. But I'm invested. We are following Jordan Manning as she is rising in the ranks and getting more popular, getting a name for herself. And then a white woman shows up and is like, my sister is missing. And nobody is taking this white woman seriously. So Jordan is on the case. And she is investigating the disappearance of a woman who is a mother, and also you find out she's secretly battling some intense things and she's trying to get away from an abusive spouse. One of the things that I really loved about this book is that right on the first page, it says, "To the domestic violence hotline teams everywhere. You pick up phone calls of strangers looking for someone to care like family. You hear the cries for help, and yet, under the weight, you never give up. To the teams at Day One and Safe Horizon, you remind me to listen with an open heart and use my voice for those who need me most." That is a perfect example of why I love Tamron Hall's writing. Not because the writing is like Pulitzer Prize winning, and I'm not saying she's not a good writer, because she is. Because she writes about things that matter, and you can tell on every page how much it sincerely matters to her. That's special. That's something I want to fight for. I want to fight for and preserve Black women's right to speak, to center issues that matter to them in works by them. The world would not be what it is without Black women. I'm bored. I am bored. Minutes later. That's it. I'm DNFing. I can't be miserable anymore for any more time. I can't. Life is too short. It's too short. I'm DNFing this book at like 50 pages from the end. I turned a page and then all of a sudden I just stopped caring. I stopped caring what it was about. I didn't care how the mystery, I realized I didn't care how the mystery turned out because I didn't like the reading experience. So if I'm not enjoying my reading experience, I don't really care about the mystery. Because I know I'm not going to be able to be articulate as to why this book isn't working for me. So I found some reviews that I'm going to read to you that summarize my feelings perfectly. I even skipped to the end to find out what the ending was, and as I started reading it, I just stopped caring. I loved the first book in this series so much. This one was a letdown. The story wasn't intriguing, there was no surprise ending, and Jordan felt like a different character.
100%.
I read the first novel and rated 2 out of 5 stars. There were way too many tangents and irrelevant characters, but I liked the idea of the plot, although it was not executed well. I noticed the length of the novel was much shorter, so I was hoping that this was more polished and edited.
It was not.
Not me seeing the first line as sigh, where do I start?
Ooh, here's another one.
This book was decent, but it's not one I'd go out of my way to recommend. The plot is fairly simple and the ending isn't really worth the slow start. The writing is often jerky, with scenes ending so abruptly that it gave me whiplash, and I never really felt a sense of tension or urgency. This next review takes the cake. Quick, easy read, and love Jordan's character. Fearless and relentless to find answers and get the story. However, I didn't feel like much happened throughout the book until the last 50 or so pages, and even then, it wasn't that exciting. I wanted more action and suspense and thrills. Instead, I got a lot of fluff. While the ending was uneventful, I think the pretty pink bow at the very end made it too buttoned up, and I would have been happier with cutting out the last 5 to 10 pages. Great for someone who is new to the thriller genre. Also, I'd classify this one as a mystery.
The only mystery is
How the fuck did this get published?
It's definitely a mystery. As far as rating,
oh god.
I want to give this somewhere between 0 and 2 stars. This book just wasn't for me. Point blank and simple. I love that we're following a Black investigative journalist, but the focus on this book was much more her love life. Y'all know that that's not my thing. There was a lot of irrelevant information. There was a lot of fluff, despite the fact that the book is like 200 pages. The scorecard that I've been using kind of doesn't apply for this book, and if I was going to give a rating, I would say 2 stars, which isn't a horrible rating. I think if you're a mystery fan, you should read it. But if I could go back in time and just not read this novel, as far as I'm concerned, the first book is a standalone. That's all, folks. These are the 4 books that you saw me read throughout the course of this vlog, and now I'm going to go over my final rankings for this video. We are judging these books based solely off of the writing, as well as their exploration and depiction of Blackness and contributions to the horror, thriller, and fantasy genres, respectively. All of these books, I think, none of them contained anything that was harmful. I think that these are all stellar Black writers, and regardless of their race, they are incredible authors. Me personally, my personal pick for this vlog is going to be The Wishing Pool and Other Stories by Tananarive Due. If we're going to judge off of the writing, the elements and the mechanics of the writing, the storytelling, the Black horror thriller, and also speculative, and there's a sci-fi story in here, this takes the cake. It wins every single time, this was the scariest book. And it was also the book that did a phenomenal job of intersecting Blackness and horror. I thought that was brilliant, brilliantly done. It is versatile. I have no notes for this novel. Coming in at second place, we have I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. Now, it is really hard to rank any of these books because they're all so different. These books are all, with the exception of this one, 5 stars. Y'all have already heard me rave about I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me, so I'm not going, if you need to hear it again, you need to go back and listen to all of the things I said about this book. It's phenomenal. I would love to read the audiobook one day as well, and I can't wait to see what this author puts out next. This author is also non-binary. We acknowledge and we slay. Coming in third, we have King of Dead Things by Nevin Holness. I personally, again, I hate that I have to rank these books because there's no need. It was so good. This book was creepy. The fantasy element was phenomenal. The urban realism was phenomenal. The horror was awesome. The political elements of this novel, the history, the discussion of Blackness, the discussion of colonization and the impacts of it, and how this would have an impact on Black magic, right? Oh, I want to sit and gush about this book over and over and over again. I would love to read the audiobook. I'm so excited to continue on with the series. The characters were phenomenal. Everything about this. This book had me hooked from page 1 all the way to the end. Page 305. All right, so my last vlog will be linked down below, as well as the dancer vlogs that I have done if any of you are interested in my journey as an entertainer. My Patreon is in the description. You gotta join and have fun, hang out with me on Suki Sunday. The next thing that we're going to be watching for Suki Sunday is going to be either Buffy or The X-Files, but we still have 7 seasons of Supernatural to get through. Thank God I am not ready for Supernatural to end. If you wanna show me that you made it this far in the video, that you stayed,
Unlike my father.
drop an emoji that is Black down below. It doesn't have to be Black people, right? It can be a Black heart. It can be a music note. Something Black. Put that down below. I mean, you could literally type Black as well, okay? If you want to get literary with it. This was fun. Thank you so much for participating in my ride. This book is going to be up in my Pango for anybody who's interested in purchasing. I will see you in my next video.
Firmly grasp it.